Hey guys, it's Candace, Trinice, and Fee, and this is BGB.
Oh, you was waiting for the fist. So we rehearsed that thing and then it didn't happen. But
yeah, we did all that. You just gonna smile. She's just gonna tilt her head.
Because it's funny. I was trying not to laugh.
Okay.
Okay, so first things first.
Papa.
I said
I was
rest in
ready
peace,
to say,
Uncle
let's
Phil,
not
but
say
okay.
freaks all the honeys because this is not the show for
This
that.
is not the show for that. That is accurate. First of all, I want to say Happy New Year to everyone.
Yeah.
We haven't seen you guys since 2018. Welcome.
to this new year.
Thank y'all for still sticking with us and listening. We're going to have bigger and better things this year.
And to our newcomers.
And our new viewers. Oh, and
Yes.
also a new thing, we are on YouTube now.
Woohoo!
So you guys can check us out there if you want to see our lovely faces, to, match the voice with the face, all that good stuff. And we really appreciate it. Subscribe. All that stuff that Candace always tell y'all to do it.
Yeah. You know she gonna get on y'all.
But we talking about
It's
how
a new
this
year.
it is. This year has literally just started, and I feel like it's already exploding.
Yes,
honey.
we coming out swinging, honey.
Apparently he was.
Oh my god! So today we're talking about the Lifetime series "Surviving R. Kelly." I mean, y'all knew we was gonna talk about it. Everybody and their mama is talking about it. Honestly,
Everybody.
Mama.
Everybody.
yes. It is on Lifetime, as I said, and just a little bit of facts. It premiered on January 3rd, and it had 1.9 million viewers, which made it the best performance that Lifetime has ever had in
Oh wow.
in the past 2 years. It's their
Get
best
a
performance.
Lifetime Achievement Award.
Oh my god, it was so
Not
bad.
just the show.
And they said that this was the first time that they had like tons of social interaction, like with the Lifetime series. So I wish y'all. So it's the first time they had like so much social interaction. But I feel like that's been a big thing because like when Bird Box came out, everybody was like, "Oh my God, they're using social media to pump up the movie." When they're actually saying like people just watched it and started doing it on their own.
Exactly. It's just memes. People have been doing that forever.
It was just so
Since
quick and so fast. It seemed like. And another very important part is that they said R. Kelly did not watch the series.
I mean,
That's what they said.
that's
But
what
how
they
do they
said.
know?
I'm almost positive that he did.
He
It wasn't
prob-
like he had to read
definitely
it.
watched
He
it.
probably did. He did have to read it. That's why he missed
had
it.
to read it.
I'm just saying.
Boom, roasted.
He know he watched it. Stop lying all the time. You just lie.
Oh.
He definitely watched it, if not for his own satisfaction to relive his glory days.
Right.
Oh, my
because
God.
that's what they do. Serial predators, that's what they do. So.
Kellogg's or
Pride of
again, let me make this disclaimer now.
Yes.
We are gonna laugh and we're gonna joke because that's what we do, but this is not a laughing nor a joking matter.
We are definitely not laughing
Very
at the
clear.
victims.
No, we're not.
And that
Except for that
jerk.
girl's wig. I was laughing at that. It was pretty awful. I want to say her name was Geronda.
That was Geronda?
The one with the
don't
wig
know.
with the flowery shirt.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Oh,
Also, this was a 3-night event, and it was a 6-part docuseries. And the thing that I said to Candace was, I was shocked that they played it all like Friday,
Back to
Saturday,
back.
Sunday. Yeah.
And the thing that I said to Trinice was, I was happy about it because
Yeah.
I hate waiting.
I do. I do,
You know
too.
she
I like the fact that I was able to watch it, all in one. It made me feel like, not that it should go to Netflix or anything, but I'm just saying, it made me feel like that. Like, I could just watch the whole... Well, I could. I literally
You did.
sat and, like, watched it within
I
a
get
couple
tired
hours.
of anticipation sometimes. Like, having to wait week to week or...
Right. And this wasn't
Week to
nothing to be, really anticipating. This
Mm-hmm.
was just some facts from them.
You wasn't ready for the rest? Because after I watched on Friday, I was like, what is next on this list? Because Robert Satan Kelly has done it again and again and again.
That is his
Wow.
name for us.
I think it's not like anticipation of being like I can't wait to see, but
Right.
it's more like
What
how
else could he
yeah,
possibly
like,
do?
how deep to the depths does the
Does the disgusting Robert go?
wow that another thing I wanted to mention, the producer of this show is Dream Hampton.
Dream with a D, not a J.
Well, because my cousin's changed his name to Dream
Dream
with a J. Yes.
Okay.
J.
But
Ream.
not to be
Okay.
pronounced J Ream. It's just Dream. Let's not
It's
make that
silent?
mistake.
It's silent? What is
No,
that?
no. It's just a J.
Mm.
It's like Drew.
Just
Oh. Oh, okay.
JRUE.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have
Anyway,
fun with that.
so also her name is all spelled lowercase like Bell Hooks, which I thought was amazing. So that's cool. And I feel like I hadn't seen her do anything else on television.
Got a little tickle in my ear.
I'm sorry, you need a cough drop?
you know she can't have any of these.
Sorry. Oh, she's coughing a little.
Yup.
I am coughing a little.
Maybe when you have a real problem, you can have one.
Ooh, well.
That's what I was told, that these cough drops were for people who have real problems. So
The shade of it all.
Because they were. But
Anyway.
clearly anyone can get them.
Dream. I'm not going to entertain it.
anyone but you.
Dream. I didn't see her like do anything else when it came to television movies that I had heard of. And when I looked stuff up, I think she started in music and she wrote. Oh my God, that was rough. She wrote for The Source and it was something else. Vibe, I believe. Right. But for this to be the first thing, and I don't know how it works with getting notoriety off of something like this, because if you get these sort of numbers for like a show that you help create in a fictional world, this is a very good thing. But I feel like now, because she's just given the stage and the platform to the survivors, will it have the same effect? You know.
I mean, I think this is the world that she's already been in, though, because if we think about the documentary, it's about someone who is in the industry, and that's what Source Magazine was intended for. And she was sticking to facts back then, writing for Source, and now she's dealing with facts right now. But I feel like it's on a greater level because she's doing it in order to raise awareness and to help bring down Satan.
So now the question is, do we feel as though she will be quote unquote typecast in that bracket of filming?
And that
you know what
I
I'm
do
saying?
have that question. I feel like with the cryptic tweet that the Me Too movement put out about this being the year that they're going to expose a lot, maybe they'll tap her to do a lot of these sort of things.
Right, so she's already kind of in there.
But
I think she's just staying in her lane, though. I don't necessarily think it's being typecast. You know what I'm saying?
Like this is the area right now that she wants to focus on. So she's just gonna go full force into it until it shifts. Basically, that's what you feel.
Yeah, I mean, she wants it to shift.
And also, because she may not want to get into actual like film and stuff. This may just be her.
She might like
her
the
style.
facts.
Her plateau to something else.
She might like the actual factuals.
Yeah, and
And I can
some people
respect
that only do one genre, and this may be hers.
Like journalists.
Right, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
It almost reminds me of that type of person. Like, I could see maybe her going, if she does branch off a little bit, I could see her branching maybe into sitting down with, a one-on-one type of thing versus. So, if you do that, girl.
We called it.
We said it. Let us know.
Okay, so we'll get into the show. Again, it's Surviving R. Kelly on Lifetime. It's all on demand right now. You can go watch it. I'm sure you have watched it. If you haven't watched the whole thing, I would say watch the whole thing. Because there's some people that watch a part of it and have a whole opinion.
Right.
Which I don't like. Don't have a whole opinion with half the facts. But anyway, so, watch it, educate yourself. And for the people that don't want to know, it's impossible. Because it's all over social media now.
And not just social media. The news is
the
talking
news,
about it.
Definitely.
When I went upstairs last night, I was just like, wow, this is serious when the 11 o'clock news is broadcasting about this. This is serious. Like, finally, I feel as though what they desired from it, because people are assuming different reasons why they are doing it, but I feel like it's getting the publicity, the needed publicity that it required to be able to deal with the situation properly.
Yes, snaps that. And also another reason why I'm sure it's being picked up in the news is because they had the other day, they literally had someone in Chicago come out and say like we're actively trying to prosecute him now because of the docuseries. So see, TV does change lives.
Yes.
Because of the docuseries, they're trying to actively prosecute him, and they're making the call to the people that have the stories to come and tell them because they can't do it without evidence.
Right.
So they have what's been shown to us, but they need more. Like if it's more current things, because half of this stuff is old now at this point.
Exactly. And
So
that statute of limitations.
and that's what made it more present. Like it resurfaced because we have people out right now that's aware and that are now trying to do something.
Right.
But is there a statute of limitations to this stuff? I mean, because Bill Cosby was slipping drugs to women and taking advantage of them.
I think
it
because
is
of
when you're a
the
black
age.
girl.
Yeah, that's very true. And
Legally
I think also,
asking, just about
so
the
someone,
legal laws.
I was going to say, someone actually call us and let us know about that because we would love to know, if as far as legal wise, yes, call us. Let
Hello.
us know. But because it's crazy to me, and I would assume that the way that it went down with Bill Cosby, maybe because drugs were a part of it also, but who knows, At this point, they're just
for
making
all of those women that he had all those counts for.
They're just making, just trying to make an example. And I know Bill Cosby had way more money than R. Kelly. So
Definitely now, especially since they taken his houses and evicted him. So
evicted.
That is true.
Oh, that's a hurt feeling, honey. I've been there.
Not for him. He deserves every hurt. Okay, into the series.
Yes.
So, go ahead.
Okay, so let me talk about the list of women, first of all, that are on this show. Listen, women, I am very sorry in advance for messing up your name.
Oh, I was like, did she want to say, I was there, I kept the books?
No. Okay.
Oh, she need a cough drop.
So
bad.
I really did. And that's what I get.
Oh, my God.
That's what I get for saying what I said to her. But it's fine, Okay, so we have Geronda. Geronda in the house. So we have a Geronda Pace. We have a Dominique Gardner. This was the young lady. Well, we'll talk about her. We have Andrea Kelly, of course, which was his ex-wife. We have Joycelyn, the second one. Okay.
Oof,
Oh
yeah.
yes, last night, poor Aaliyah. I don't even have her on my list. Aaliyah.
she wasn't on the thing, so that's why. It's okay.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah, duh, Candace. she couldn't make her appearance.
Don't dumb me. I said obviously.
yeah. Then we have Joycelyn Savage. We have Javante Cunningham.
It's actually Cunning. You said Cutting?
Oh,
She said-
Cunning. I thought I said Cunningham.
Yeah, I thought she said Cunning too.
Oh, I
There's a
thought-
strong
Okay.
G on it.
Okay.
Kitty
Strong G.
Kitty Jones, Ezreal
Clary.
Ashante McGee. What is it? Lizetta?
Lizette.
Oh, Lizette?
Lizetta Stone?
Come on.
I was getting
Okay,
ready to
I'm
say
sorry.
that.
I'm so sorry.
Lizette Martinez and Faith Rogers.
And again, these are only the people that came on tape to say something.
Yes,
Because we
'cause
do
they-
not know how far and wide.
Well, which one was I listening to earlier?
Hold on.
Lisa Van Allen?
Girl, you didn't even put Lisa
I was
on
gonna
here.
say, okay, so that's the one we missing. Lisa Van Allen. She mentioned within the interview that we heard today
On the Breakfast Club. She was on the Breakfast Club.
Yes.
Shout out to Uncle Charles, the great.
She mentioned today that it
Angela Yee
is
and
quite
DJ
a
Envy.
few more, but they just decided that they don't want to come forward. So,
Because, I mean, that former employee was all grayed out.
and clearly, even the young lady that he, did his dirt on that got out.
It wasn't dirt.
I know it wasn't
literally
dirt.
piss.
Oh, that is so disgusting. I don't even like when somebody spits on me.
People spit on you?
Oh my God, right? Oh my God.
Well, no, because
Oh my God.
It's a whole different
Listen.
show now.
I mean, I guess I get what you're saying. Like, if
Yeah.
someone was to
Like if
spit
they're
on
talking
you.
to you and they
But-
like,
Oh,
still
okay,
sticking
yeah.
Oh,
it
I
out
thought
their
you meant like
mouth.
regular.
I thought she meant like New York spit. Like,
But I feel like someone urinating on you is a little bit worse than spitting on you, only because you have to go out of your way to pull out your other body.
But no, that's what I'm
Other
saying. But that's what
reasons.
I'm saying. Like I don't even like someone to spit on me. So
it looks
I
like somebody
definitely.
pissed on you already.
Oh, why? Because of the color? Because of the color I got on? Don't do that.
You're doing too much right now.
Don't do that. Don't.
Your homegirl's
My
also
shirt.
upset.
I don't care. Yeah.
But continue. Yes, I agree. It's very vile and disgusting.
Yeah. You know, that's just because he's just nasty. He's just a nasty,
Satan.
filthy dog.
He's Satan.
Okay, so
Felicia.
my question is, I already know the answer, but I'm gonna ask them so you guys can know the answer. Do you guys think he did it?
Of course, he did it. I mean, we know that, you know, he has to be proven guilty, but
He's guilty.
he's guilty.
He did it.
He's guilty.
Whatever
That's
they
it.
say,
You know,
That's
you know
all.
what pisses me off even more about this
or
whole
pisses you
situation?
on. Okay. I'm sorry. It's the last one. That's the last
I am
one.
so
That's the
sorry.
last one. I'm sorry.
But no, what makes me so mad about this whole situation is that he don't even have enough respect to let these girls that he still has. Like, it's almost like he's saying, F all of y'all. You know,
He's
like,
been
y'all
saying
ain't gonna
it
do
for
years.
nothing. Like, y'all ain't gonna do nothing to me. They ain't leaving. You know what I'm saying? Like, he don't even have enough freaking common sense to say to himself,
He's
let me,
illiterate.
I understand, but let me, you know, at
Let
least get
me
these girls
hold
out of
you.
my house. I'm about to probably lose anyway. Get them out of my house so I could at least try to show face. You know what I'm saying?
It's no face for him to show at this point.
Except the real one.
Wow, he going down.
Candace, you believe he did it as well? You said.
Yeah, I
Oh,
said
come
it
on.
already. Yeah, I said it.
He's a predator, and he has progressed and progressed and progressed because no one stopped him, and that's the end of it.
I don't know. Has he progressed?
Yeah, he's progressed.
Because I think peeing on someone's
The pinnacle.
the peak of it. So
No.
I think now he's just holding. He's just.
I'm just talking about
It's
progression.
just slavery now.
I'm just saying Yeah, it is slavery, but I'm just saying progression as far as from where we seen that he started with Aaliyah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I know that he may have done things to her, talked to her certain ways. We will never know, but as far as the progression from doing that with one person and saying, okay, because I mean, it had to start somewhere.
Right.
So he had to have said, okay, let me try this and see if this works with her. Okay. Now my status must be okay, so I can go a little bit further, and so he had to keep testing.
That's how it is in
testing
life.
the waters. So he, the more he tested the waters, the more
But I'm saying, what more can he do
people
right now?
he began to get is what I'm
And
saying.
I don't want you to show me
The
Satan.
harem.
But I just want to know what after you pee on someone. I just feel like that's it. That's just the top right there.
Well,
It's like the climax.
Dave Chappelle said that doo-doo butter was next. But anyway,
I mean, but
they
it's
said
like-
he'd take it in the butt. That's what they said. That's what the girl said. When
Lisa
they was
Vanderpump
asked if he
did say
likes,
that on the
when
Breakfast Club.
she was asked if she thinks that he likes men.
Because he dressed one of
young lady.
Dominique
Dominique Gardner.
Gardner.
Thank you.
he dressed her as a boy, made her cut her hair,
Mm-hmm.
and made her put on stash and beard.
Yeah.
Did they say stash or did you say stash?
She's just saying stash.
I'm
and beard.
saying stash.
Stash and beard.
Yes.
They said
Matching
mustache.
stash. Oh,
Yes.
They said it.
So in
Okay.
some type of way, form or fashion, however you want to look at it, he liked it. Now, like they said on Breakfast Club, where those tapes at? Where he was getting it in the
Where all
butt.
the rest of them
I
are.
don't want to know where those tapes
That's
are.
true.
I
God
don't want to
knows.
see none of it, honestly. I mean, just hearing about it was enough for me. Because, I mean, it's just certain stuff that you don't make
You
up
didn't
about
see
yourself.
it back then?
No, I didn't see it. I didn't.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't. You know,
I didn't see it either.
I believed it, but I
You were
didn't see
younger,
it.
though.
I know, but I mean, by the time we got to the age, we could have watched it. LimeWire was out. I could have saw it.
Yep.
I just
I
didn't
just-
want to.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't have any
He was
desire
young,
to, but
yeah.
I believed that he did it. And you know, I'm a firm
I'm sure
person
she was
that.
hanging around older people who was like,
Watch
"What?
it.
Did y'all see that?"
Oh yeah, they were, but I didn't want to see it. I
Yeah.
just didn't have that desire.
Mhm.
Like for me to hear it, I was like, oh, he probably did it.
Oh, just off the.
Just off the because I just feel like certain things you don't make up about yourself to put out there for people to know because that's showing some what's the word I'm looking for, like it damages you almost. So I'm not gonna put something out there that's gonna be here forever about myself, you know, if
He
it's
didn't
not true.
put it out.
No. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about you talking about that she didn't put the tape out. You talking about?
She said she wasn't on the tape, so
Yeah,
this
Lisa
is
wasn't
true.
on that tape,
that's
Yeah.
what she said.
Yeah.
but she did say she was on the tape.
Right. So I
But
don't
But
know.
she wasn't on
She
that
wasn't
tape
on
that was
that tape,
seen.
which was
Right.
was crazy to me when I heard that today. I was
Well,
just like, wow.
my father told me it was her butt, I believe, but he said it was somebody else.
Okay.
So maybe that was her. You just didn't
that was
see
her.
face.
You couldn't see her face.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. I didn't see the
So
tape.
basically, what they're saying is that it was edited.
This though, because in the documentary, it was stated that she had the tape. She hid the tape under the mattress. Then she gave the tape to someone else to hold on to. He paid for the tapes back. And then he asked if there were copies made. And then he also paid for the copies. But they took a copy and then they turned it over. But
He
then
said he got a lie detective.
Yeah, but what
for
I'm
the person
saying,
that held it.
so for all of that though,
isn't that enough to say?
no, this is what I'm trying to say that I don't understand.
Okay.
Is that at that moment she said that that tape that she took went through all of those steps that I just stated, and then was turned in. Today she said the tape that was turned in during the trial was not the tape that she was on.
That is what she said.
Oh, so what you're saying is some way is some inconsistency?
Yes,
as far as,
definitely.
like,
And I feel
Inconsistency
like there are inconsistencies, but he still did do it and he still is guilty. But I feel like at this moment, because there is so much victim shaming and so much questioning about why these girls allowed this to happen, while we all do have that somewhere in our mind, because she is one of the girls that said, oh, my mother knew she couldn't stop me. I didn't even ask, da-da-da-da. But we still have to understand that once they get into those doors, it's a whole different ball game.
Exactly.
The mental prison that they now live in is completely different.
Right.
And she did break that down and explain, how she felt. But I feel like now her explanation for certain things is changing because of the line of questioning that she gets. Even on a Breakfast Club, they asked her, why were you on the tape? How did you feel about being on the tape? Like, what do you mean? I just told y'all that this man that was manipulating me, taking advantage of me, being abusive to me, did all of this stuff, and y'all ask these pinpointing questions that now makes me
sort of kind of revisit those feelings.
Not even revisit, but it makes her look like she's a part of the problem.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Well, because you know what, that's part of the problem anyway. Because what ends up happening is, and what I did like about the Breakfast Club, we keep referencing it, but is that they tried not to turn away from the issue.
Yeah.
The real issue of this whole matter is Robert.
Yeah.
Satan Kelly.
And a lot of times we get away from, we start talking about all these other things that deal with it, and we get away from the real matter at hand.
And that's been my thing, because it was a lot of celebrities that came out and said stuff against him, and there were a lot of celebrities that chose not to. And when I was at work the other day, I had somebody say, I'm judging anybody that still listens to his music. Now, that's everybody's right. You have the right to do what you want to do. But my thing is, how can I'm going to judge people that are listening to his music when the real judgment is on the person that made the music.
Exactly.
And regardless, I don't agree with them listening, but I'm not going to judge them, because the thing that I had to explain to a lot of people is music is how you interpret it. It's where you are, because when we were listening to his songs, it was what we were imagining the subject to be. So age ain't nothing but a number. The number for me was 2. If you 2 years older than me, 2 years ain't nothing. I'm not thinking 20 years, 30. Right. I'm not thinking that, period. Right. Now, again, I believe that I'm not going to listen to his music because those streams that I do are supporting him. They're giving him revenue. They're helping him to continue to imprison girls right in America.
I want him to lose it all.
So that's my choice. But I'm not judging anybody who has not come to understand that yet.
Right.
What I will do is expose them to that knowledge, but I'm not going to judge them for it. And I think that's one of the issues that we have with our woke culture, is that we get so much knowledge and we want to beat people over the head with it. Like, no, just like you had to take the time to understand that, they have to understand it too. And people do not take well with you forcing something on them.
And at the end of the day, it's your opinion. That's your opinion. That's how you feel.
Yeah.
And it takes time for each person, you know, to figure out where you stand with certain things. And it takes certain things to happen. Like, you know, it may have been, you know, someone seeing, like with the girl, she was in the situation herself, Lisa.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it took for her to see a video that she was in, to see that young girl getting peed on, to say,
That's it.
This is it.
Yeah.
Like
everybody's limit and breaking
Told
point
Yeah.
is
you,
different.
That was the point right there.
I'm just saying. So
This nigga's really pissing around.
I'm so sorry, guys. That was funny. It
she
was
is
funny.
very upset about him. She is really hating Satan.
I just the one thing I wanted to talk about is I feel like he's been allowed to become worse over time, as you said, because of the culture that we live in. We live in a place that a society that is okay with toxic masculinity and rape culture and everything that helped to keep this sort of monster living and breathing.
Yeah, 6 years and
like,
more.
More than
No, I'm just talking about as far as this trial. Like it's
like
that's what pissed me
crazy.
off. It took 6 years, and what's so crazy about it? And this is incriminating evidence in its own. Like I feel like sometimes I just want to be, the lawyer in the courtroom.
Okay,
because
Annalise.
for the simple fact that I would definitely bring up, here it is: a defender has the option to try to
Get a speedy trial.
Get a speedy
Not the
trial.
option, he's a right
to do it.
Which most
And
defendants, they
do.
seek that
because they want to prove that they're not guilty.
Exactly.
And he is letting it drag out for 6 years.
No, not
or
just
more.
Him.
Them. Okay. They're letting it drag out for 6 years or more at this point.
And I do want to state that they said that it was intentional
Yes.
actions of the team of the defendant.
Yes.
That makes sense.
And because it was better to be able to see an older woman on the stand than it was to see a 14-year-old girl.
Yeah, because in 6 years' time, she's 20.
So, she's not looking like no baby. So the jurors are not going to be looking at her like, oh, he wrong. She looked young.
Not
You know
to
what I'm saying?
mention that, but if you see a woman who is progressing and who is okay, who is not damaged by this, because by the time you come to court, I mean, if you have the right lawyers who tell you to dress the part and do the right things, then you can do that. But obviously, they couldn't even get her on the stand. So has she gotten on the stand because she was made to in some sort of way?
Right.
It would have been no way that she would have presented herself as a rundown young lady who can't make it in this world.
Right.
So to see someone who is okay, who is thriving, who is, surviving
Right. It's
still.
like, what harm?
Exactly. It's like, I mean, it's just a little bit of pee. She's
I see what she
okay.
did there.
It's just, like,
Surviving still.
yes. It's just, sexual acts. People, do different things, different strokes for different folks. And I mean, she was there. She let it happen. So whatever. It's not that big of a deal. Also, it wasn't Robert Satan Kelly. It was his brother. So
allegedly.
yes, that is the only alleged
that
statement
in
here.
itself just is so disrespectful. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how you gonna do that to your own family? I mean, clearly he doesn't care about anyone but himself.
Yeah.
But for him to do that to his younger brother was just criminal, all in its own. But I was glad that his brother stepped up and began to defend himself. But then he messed up a little because he started saying, I just started saying stuff because I was mad at him and what I heard. So I don't even know. So then the credibility, he ruined his credibility. To be even called as a witness in that aspect. But clearly, come on, like y'all know it wasn't him. Like let's be real about this. Like just send the male to jail.
And I want to go back to
and then his other young brother. I mean, his older brother gonna make that statement like.
You should have took the deal.
You should have took the deal because clearly Robert Satan Kelly,
so funny.
He offered his younger brother a one album, one record deal, and $150 or just $100,000, to lie. Come on, dude. Like,
well, I don't know if it was a lie. It was just
he
to
didn't
not
say to lie. He said to sit down with them and to
tell the truth.
Exactly.
To lie.
Truth.
the truth.
Because he already told the truth, hopefully.
And his older brother
he
gonna
told the
say,
truth that it wasn't him.
And his
so
older brother's
dumb.
just he
you could have been rich.
And I was like, that's why you in jail. That's exactly why you in jail. You's a dummy. Like it pissed me off, and I just was like, you get what you give.
His brother was
the older one.
Yes, because the second one really didn't say too much on the first episode. He talked a little bit, but he said that people have preferences.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he did.
Some people like to talk to older women, and some people like to talk to younger women. So what was wrong with what his brother was doing?
That's what he said. That was his words.
Literally.
And that's why you are where you are. Well, guess what? In jail, people have preferences.
He know.
So,
Top or bottom bar.
Oh, he know.
exactly. What's your preference?
You know what his
Sorry.
preference is.
Again,
Jerk.
toxic masculinity.
Sorry.
So that's basically a repressive way to describe manhood, where it's just like it's defined by sexuality, violence, aggression, things like that. And the reason why I said it's okay is a part of toxic masculinity is basically telling men that you're more of a man when you're sexual. You're more of a man when you're doing this. So like R. Kelly getting younger girls, that in a toxic culture like that is a good thing. It's like, oh, you pulling her, oh, you got this, you got that, you got girl, like that's a good thing. And then the whole boys will be boys thing, and this is how people were able to turn their head. Like, that has nothing to do with me. That don't have nothing to do with me and mine. He over there doing him, because that's what men do.
Yeah.
This is what men do. They have sex. It's normal. And the whole thing about girls being fast, which has been very upsetting to me. And I remember when I was becoming mature, because I was made to be aware before I even was actually maturing. So I had to stop playing basketball with the people that I was playing basketball with, which were a bunch of older guys. I still was flat as a board, but clearly boys get pissed on. But anyway, I didn't feel like I was developing or nothing was changing. My mother was like, you can't do this anymore. You can't be out with them. You can't play like this. You can't do that. And even like if I was around and my dad was around, I had to be mindful of the night clothes that I wore. So I couldn't wear shorts. I had to wear long this and long that. Like, I had to literally cover myself up. And my thing was, and I always used to say, like, why do I have to do this?
Right.
And it's been taught, like, I feel like generationally, that as women, we have to cover up. And my biggest thing is, okay, that's fine if you want to teach your girl to cover up because she wants to respect herself.
Yes.
But the issue for me is, how are we teaching young girls to not be raped and not teaching men to not rape?
Right.
Like, that's really the issue.
Right.
So you're teaching a girl to hide herself instead of teaching a man to control himself.
Exactly.
And that's really what's happening here. Because so many people, as soon as this started happening, one of the biggest comments was the girls were fast.
Right.
Like,
that gets on my nerves.
It's
just
crazy.
It's a very ignorant statement, number one. And the only way that I could possibly see, of trying to change that in society is to begin to work with our young people.
Oh yeah,
now.
absolutely.
We do it in this household all the way around. The boys get it from every which way between me and y'all. It's like, and my mother and aunts and
also to women all ages.
Yeah, we tell them now, and I mean, I would definitely suggest those mothers or sisters or aunts and that are out there listening to us now. It is so important that you have these conversations. As young, they can be as young as long as they understand what a body part is.
Yeah.
Then you need to start having the conversation because, my son called he just started recognizing this area. So
His
I told them
chest.
what,
Because everybody can't see, even though you guys should, because you're going to watch this on YouTube.
So I told him, that they were nipples, and he decides that he wanted to call them pimples.
It was hilarious. And then he's like, I said, what are those? He was like, oh, they're pimples. And he said, you got pimples too, but I can't touch your pimples. And I was like, wait a minute.
And
he knows, at least.
I said,
that's what I'm saying.
That's true, but it's actually not called pimples.
Yeah, but soon as the very moment that he
Legit.
recognized that he had them, the first thing that I said to him, I didn't even say it about him.
Mm-hmm.
I said, yes, you have them, but I have them, and all women have these.
Mm-hmm.
You do not touch them.
Yeah.
I said, even in playing,
Yeah.
because it can just be by accident, but these days you just cannot be careful.
And then, cartoons too, they've been doing a lot. Like, I see them doing a lot, especially like with the butt.
Yes.
They'll be doing a lot of stuff like that, and you
Apparently
really have
so
to.
does R. Kelly. Sorry, Robert Seton Kelly.
And you really have to tell kids, like, just because you saw it in that
Exactly.
arena, it was comical. It's not gonna be comical when you do it.
Exactly.
So that's why
It's
you need to
gonna be
watch
jail
your
time.
You need to watch what your kids are
And
watching.
that's what we say to them also,
Yeah.
to let them know you can go to jail for this. My middle child is always saying, oh, you can go to jail for that. Oh, you can go to jail for that. And, and I don't even get upset about it because I want him to know that this is a reality, unfortunately, and especially a black man's life.
Yeah, except for R. Kelly, clearly.
Ugh.
Hopefully soon, maybe soon.
Well, soon because he ain't got no more money. So he can't
can't
pay
pay
he
off
can't
the
pay his way
justice
out of this,
system.
honey. You
I'm sorry,
can't.
the injustice system.
Well, the thing about when
Oh.
you help someone to a certain point, they now can hold that over your head,
Yeah,
and you might still have to help them.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, you know, I
that's
wanted to
true.
bring up one thing about his case that I had totally forgot. With Robert
Satan.
Kelly. So because I just could not understand how he got off so easy, you know, with this first case, and then it ran past that. They didn't call it like a rape. Basically,
They called it child
they called
pornography.
it child pornography.
Well, they said that they changed what it was called because they believed that making it that would have helped it to stick.
Right.
Like it would have been easier to prove that as opposed to whatever the other case
clearly
they
it
were trying to
wasn't.
do.
Clearly, it wasn't, guys.
I mean,
You failed.
I didn't.
You failed. The
I didn't
mission.
see too much about like what actually happened with the trial. I just know he was acquitted. That's it. And
Do you guys
again,
remember when that Asian man was talking?
Oh,
The
and
Asian
he
juror?
said. He said. What did he say? Oh God.
He said he didn't believe it or something like that.
Yeah. The juror. Yes. He's yeah. He said that they couldn't prove it or something. I think he was saying basically, and it was just so shocking to me because I'm like,
you're colored.
how could they not prove it? Like the evidence was ever so clear. Like
Again, we don't know about what means.
I almost wish like, and that
We
that
could've
may
saw the
be the
trial.
next step. Yeah, you know, I wouldn't be surprised.
I wonder if that could happen.
I mean, they did OJ's. Why not?
They did. You're right.
And
You're right.
at this point, let me tell you this. At this point, if he gets locked up, he's going to need money from somewhere. So he may be willing to sign over, you know what I'm saying, to do this right of tell all. Because now it's out. Because, I mean, for God's sake, he made a freaking, what's that, 19-minute thing.
I admit the song they put
I
out.
admit
will
you are a
suggest-
freaking jerk, a predator, a sucker, a
I'm
psycho.
about to go real 80s on you real quick.
All right.
It's his time. He understands what she's saying. Jack. A slice of cheese off the corner. I would suggest for the people that are, because I cut myself off. I would suggest for the people that are looking up these songs that you would look up the lyrics and not listen to the song.
Yes,
because in listening to the song, you give him stream revenue. And looking up the lyrics, it's not the same.
Right.
And I talked to my younger sister today, and I asked her, like, what do you know about Kelly? Because she's young, and she was just like, I just know his music. And I'm like, and that's what people need to understand. Like, how could this happen? How could this happen? And people that this happened to were not really, one, either aware, or two, believing what they heard about him.
Right.
So
many people, and I know that Candace
all of
wanted to
them.
say, I know that she wanted to make
like
this
that one
statement,
girl
like,
said she went to the trial because she believed he was innocent.
she believed
Yes,
he was
but I'm
innocent
saying, yes, she believed he was innocent, but
when she was sitting in there.
some of the other girls, like the latter two, they knew and their parents knew, but they still looked beyond it because he wasn't proven guilty.
Yes,
That's what I'm
exactly
saying. So
what they
they
said.
didn't believe.
But
That's
I'm
what I'm saying.
But what
Because
I'm
they
saying
said they
is,
was
you said
proven-
that some people just didn't know
No,
about
I
this
said
stuff.
some people didn't know or they didn't believe. It was two options.
Yeah, and that was crazy in itself. You know, to me, you know, me and Candace was talking about, like, that was, you know, I just don't understand that as a parent. You know what I'm saying? One, signing over rights. That's number one.
They were deceived.
And two, like,
It's not that much deception in
not.
the world as a parent. It's just
at some point, even if you did not, even if he got off, it was too many times that
too many allegations.
was out
That is
there.
true.
And for you to even, and then, okay, it's almost like it was so many times that they had that inkling of, why was he there? Why was she there and we weren't there? You know, those type of situations. So it was almost like, how did you miss it? Like, you wanted to. Like, you and it makes people say, that's what makes people say, you wanted the fame more than you wanted your child. And I'm not saying that that's how
That's
they
what makes
felt,
people victim
but that's
shame.
what makes, that's what makes people say
Partially.
that. And
The
I
other
mean,
part is they're just horrible people.
yeah,
They're victim
yeah.
shame.
But I mean, it's crazy because it's like it was right there. It was right there in your face. Like, but sometimes, you know, as a people, you know, when you struggle so hard, when you have just that little bit of light of and
That
it's
hope, yeah.
that hope, and then at the same time, I want to say, and I may be incorrect in saying it, but I want to say that she said that she knew, the mother said that she knew that if she hadn't let her go, she would have started to do it anyway. So it's almost like she was trying to do it where you have my blessing, but I hope that you don't do type of thing. Like, I don't want to lose my daughter, but you ended up losing her anyway.
Yeah.
It was that type of thing. And sometimes that's a hard choice for a parent to decide, because, I mean, even just with daughters dating, simple things like that. Like, I don't want you with this guy, but mom, I love him, whatever it may be. Because that's always the statement, I mean, most of us have done it as young girls. I love him. Don't keep me away from him. I'm going to still go see him. And then, as a parent, it's like, I'd rather not lose my child. So let me give in a little bit thinking, that I can reel it back in. And I'm sure that at a point she thought, oh, even if she get out there, I'm going to be able to reel it back in because, oh, no, not my child.
Oh, no,
that's the first thing that everyone says.
One of the things that they felt like, partially one of the things they felt like, because I feel like some of the time they weren't thinking at all. But one of the things they felt like is if I support them through it, but it became beyond support when they were sneaking around.
Right.
When R. Kelly was having these girls come to meet them without their parents being around. Because that was always a part of the deal.
Exactly.
Except for that one time when they said, oh, well, we're going to have to go, on the road with this, so we're going to have to do this. So
and they sent
sign your
daughter.
Child. Well, no, remember they said sign your child.
So that they can have somebody on the road.
Oh, yes, yes.
So
okay.
that is something... That's
totally
what I'm
different.
saying. They're not thinking because
right.
it's no way that I'm signing my rights over. If you have to, you're not doing nothing.
You just
yet.
not going. Yeah.
You gotta record something first. I gotta see something. I have to see that you're actually an artist right now.
Right.
I gotta see that you're bringing in some revenue. I have to see something in order for me to say,
and I'm
about to release you.
Open a show.
Actually, I'm gonna probably still say no because this was the one that was a junior in high school, so you haven't even finished high school yet.
Right.
So we all know that in life, whether or not you want to be in the music industry, whether or not you want to be an athlete,
right,
you may not finish college, but you got to have that high school diploma.
Exactly.
Because you have to have some sort of education as your foundation to fall back on.
Yes.
So, I mean, look at Satan. He can't even read or write.
That is
and
true.
apparently, he can't read, write, or do arithmetic.
Over the 3 R's.
So,
and since y'all brought Satan back up, this is the point I want to make. The thing that they brought up here, and I think he said it before, and it was in one of his 2012 memoirs, Solar Coaster. He was molested when he was younger, from the age of 6, 7, until I think 14. And the thing that really bothered me was he knows what that feels like to be preyed on and to be abused. And when he got in a position to not do that, he literally got on a bigger stage, a grander scale, where he could ensure that this may not happen to other kids.
But this is the thing.
And he chose to do it.
But this is the thing. Not all children, when they get molested, at a certain, they don't take to it like you would think. So some children take to it and they don't like it. It hurts. Don't touch me, blah, blah, blah. This is disgusting. Why are you doing this to me?
Right.
And then some children say at first, oh, this hurt, blah, blah, blah. But then it becomes, oh, this feels good. I like this.
Exactly.
This
but
is who
I think that in those instances, when it comes down to especially of a child, of a person, period. When it comes down to sexual acts, our body is naturally inclined to enjoy that.
Right.
So while our bodies are enjoying it, our mind may say, you know what, this is not right. So there's a conflict there.
Oh my God,
but then the power thing comes
that.
in. But then the power thing comes in also. We see and we hear, allegedly, however you want to say it, is that he is a power freak.
Yeah,
so
control.
at the end, I'm just saying, at the end of the day, because he's such a power freak, he saw what control the person that molested him had over him, and he liked that control.
That over others.
And yes, so now it's like, oh, I can have that type of control over somebody. Oh, I want all of that.
And I don't necessarily know if it's that. I think that in losing his control, he decided he was never going to lose it again.
That's what I'm saying.
And
so
I don't know,
he became the power.
Well, I mean, you're making it sound really sadistic. Even though he is Satan, I agree. Yes, he's Satan. I'm just saying sometimes people get to negative ends not intentionally. And I think the biggest thing about this...
Who's playing the advocate
I'm not playing advocate. I'm talking about people that have been in a situation. Some people like you. Why are you touching these little raggedy contracts?
Oh no, I was moving out your way.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. They're not raggedy because somebody can't get them. Some some people, when things are done, they put up a defense or they try to protect themselves, and in doing so, they hurt others. Other people do it and they intentionally hurt others. Is what I'm saying. I don't know.
There's so many ways.
I don't know what this started out as because when it first happened, like I feel like with the Aaliyah situation, I didn't see it as so sinister. I didn't see it as so evil. I saw it as more like, I'm enjoying this person. This is really great. Nothing should stop me. Now, we don't know exactly what happened in Aaliyah's situation because the most that I saw was like a couple of interviews where she said it was a rough time in her life, whatever. But we don't know the details, and we will never know, unfortunately. Rest in peace, baby girl. So
the only way we would know about anything is if some of these people that worked with him.
I'm saying from her perspective.
I was going to say, unless she had a diary.
Oh, unless that.
Yeah.
She did write 4-page letters a lot, so maybe. But I believe that with molestation, it's important. Like kids need to be cherished and appreciated and valued to the point where you have to change your life to get them to a place where they're able to take care of themselves. And so many parents, either willingly or intentionally or unintentionally, let their guard down. And people don't really vet the people that's around them. And sometimes you really don't know what really sort of issues that people have. But I would rather err on the side of caution. And that's the reason why I have
kids.
kids.
The thing is, they brought up the fact of a lot of the people that he did harm, except for the ones that he got apparently at the McDonald's parking lot and the mall.
And it was a picture of
the schools. Right. Except for those people, the ones that he had the greater connection to, he had through people that he knew. So those children were around the people that were their family members or the people that their parents felt they were safe with.
Yeah.
And then they get around a predator.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't think that their guard was down.
Yeah.
But rightfully so. Now, God forbid, and this will never happen because, I know Sparkles, as we now call her, she handled it however she handled it. But we all know that if anything occurred over here, what was going down with the two of us. But God forbid,
that is true.
If the boys were with us and, you feel like they're safe with us because they are.
Right.
But if we go somewhere and then, so... Like I said, God forbid, if they go, like, if I go to a family function and I'm like, oh, the kids are playing, and, it's like, oh, it's fine. Like, they're just playing with my little cousins. But for whatever reason, some neighborhood kid is there at my cousin's house, and now this neighborhood kid is a predator. Right. Now something has happened. It's not that you let your guard down in a bad way.
Yeah, said you were trusting.
Exactly, because he was with someone that... And I say he because you have all boys. Right. So he was with someone that you trusted, and I, in turn, was with some people that...
You trusted.
Exactly. So it just becomes a greater scale when you have to look at the bigger picture. So now, of course, the boys, they are literally... these girls were children as well, but they're adolescents.
Right.
These teenagers, while I'm not into victim shaming, I am into recognizing the greater picture, realizing that while they were manipulated, some of them did willingly put themselves in a position to be to receive attention. The attention became victimizing. Right. And I feel like as a community, whether it's parents, whether it's the teachers now, Sister Lee Tyson, the music teacher, she did speak out. And I call her Sister Lee Tyson because she's as old as Sister Lee Tyson.
She wish she looked as good as Sister Lee, though.
Sister Lee Tyson's sister. Sister Lee Tyson.
It's really not, guys. But we're just saying. They'll be like, what? Let me Google that. Is that real? Who said that?
Well, Portia. You gotta be careful.
Sparkle told y'all.
Oh, girl.
I'm sorry. Sparkles.
Satan told y'all.
Oh, God, no.
Probably. But yes, so Oh, he was a writer. We looked at that list. Yep.
Yes.
So Satan told y'all you better be careful. Oh, look at him warning y'all.
Again and again.
And that is so
again.
sickening. But yes, so Sister Lee Tyson was on there. She said she spoke to Satan Kelly himself. Yeah. Let him know you should not be here. What you're doing is wrong.
Yes.
Now you leave that girl alone.
Could she have gone to greater extent? Maybe alerting authorities,
or maybe she believed that was enough.
And that's what I'm saying. So, but what I'm saying, when you look at the greater picture of it, there's a part that everyone plays, because even down to the parents, there could have been more that could have been done to stop, or there could have been less support that was given to the children. And I feel like sometimes as parents, y'all have to realize, and I say y'all because you are one, y'all have to realize that y'all children, we gonna hate y'all at some point, because
that's true.
We have to butt heads and go against.
Right, you're learning something that's teaching. Not you. Yeah.
And so when it comes down to those things where now don't if you don't have a true feeling, if you just have some sick issue, like this movie I saw called Everything, it's a good movie. Y'all can check that out.
Oh, I need to watch that.
So basically, the girl was just trying to live an average life, and her mother told her that she had this horrible disease where she couldn't go outside.
Well, I watched it, guys. There she is. Candace does it again. She does it again.
That is in the preview.
Not that her mother just told her that she had an illness.
It is.
I thought that she actually had an illness. That's how they played it up.
Her mother told her she had an illness. So, because her mother's a doctor.
Down goes free.
So,
I don't know that.
It's so much more to the movie. Anyway, so
much less for me now.
Yeah, actually, you know what? So forget about it.
Just go ahead.
She didn't see it. It's over now.
No.
So in the movie,
don't.
It all was a lie. And her mother was only keeping her in the house. She wouldn't let her do anything. The girl ran off.
I am disgusted.
It happened. You shouldn't have wrote my back about it. Anyway, so that's a prime example of someone not supporting their child and keeping them literally in a box. So that is separate from you trying to protect your child from a predator, which these parents, I understand that they were trying to support their children to allow them to, reach greater heights and chase their dreams, but there's a way that those things can be done. And so I think that also plays a role in it. The umbrella of the whole nightmare, of course, is Robert Satan Kelly, but we also have to pay attention to the gears that keep this machine moving.
Yes, we do.
So
exactly.
And that is true. And this is why I think I don't know what his mother, she passed, right? When they were younger, did she pass?
No, she passed a few years ago because the brother, I remember I sent y'all that interview with him, and he was saying how the sister molested him.
Yeah.
When I was reading about it, it said that he hadn't spoken to her he hadn't spoken to her since their mother passed, and sometime it's like in the 2000s. So.
Oh well, I think that once that happened to Robert Satan Kelly, the whole molestation thing, he needed to get therapy. He needed to understand what happened and why it wasn't okay.
Right.
Because the thing is, now he has a distorted sense of reality where this is okay, this is normal, this is what I've been accustomed to for 7 years of my life.
He's not even walking away from
the formative years as well.
But let's make mention, I can't remember what his name was, but he was the former manager. He
signed a marriage certificate, Demetrius Smith.
Yes, that one and that one. Yeah, same guy. So he said that Robert came to him and said, "Man, I have a problem." But he said it was just about the tapes. I mean, the tape is obviously a major issue. The actions in the tape, the actions in the tapes exactly are those actions are the bigger issue. And while those actions should have been addressed, they weren't because you are sticking by someone who is feeding you, putting food on your table, and letting you do whatever. So you support him in doing whatever.
Was running down the list. So she said, "Oh boy," that we just said. She said, Daryl McDaniel. She said, June Brown, who booked the flight. She said, and she was saying that one of the, I want to say June Brown, was her uncle or cousin or something. Like he was related to her, and he took her.
No. She said he lied and said that he was her uncle,
so that he could get the
abortion done.
Oh wow, even worse.
So he took her to get it. So, all like you all was saying, all those key factors, add to him becoming, to assist.
the longevity of this
Yes,
sickness.
exactly.
Because like when you find out somebody is sick and somebody that cares about them, you want them to get well. You want to
But they
push
was
them
thinking
in
about
the-
that payday. And
yeah,
thinking
you want to
about,
push them in a direction of healing and wholeness. You want to do that because you care about that person, and ultimately that person being well is going to affect you
And
positively.
then too, they could have honestly thought, "Oh, he done got away with it this long. We good." And
that's
the
the
crazy
issue.
part of that is the total issue, because the crazy part about it is now, just like all these other men that I have on my list, now y'all gonna end up going down. Because he's going down at the end of the day. I don't care what nobody say. I speak it. I put it out there. Yup, you're going down, Satan. Robert.
It's where you belong.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He's going down. And now you think he's going to go down by himself? It ain't happening.
So we have really gotten into this episode. There's more coming. Watch, listen, interact with us, comment, do all of that good stuff. And we can't wait to jump back into it for part 2 with you very soon.